Our Groundhog Day game is almost complete. We have our groundhog wandering around the world, avoiding this one little piece of shrubbery. Well, last thing I want to do is make the game a bit more interesting. I want to make the shrubbery move. It's going to move in a very simple pattern. I want it to bounce between a couple positions and just ping pong around wherever I've created it. So to do so, I'm going to start making a little hierarchy over here so that I can build a prefab. Let's make an empty thing. This is going to be my ping pong object. Let's put the hedge underneath it. So the hedge is now a child of the ping pong object. And let's make some more empty game objects. I'm going to put this ping pong object at 0, 0, 0, so that everything is going to be relative to that point. And then let's make some more game objects. I'm going to right click here and make an empty child game object. And let's call this one like loc1. And let's make another one. Create an empty game object called loc2. Now they're empty, they don't have anything in them. I'm not going to put anything in them. I just want to use their positions. Right now they're at the exact same position as the ping pong. And let's go turn off the grid for right now so I can see some details of what I'm doing. So I have ping pong here, and I want ping pong and the locations to be wherever I want them to go. And so if I'm going to put this here at 0, 0, 0, well, I would like the hedge to be there too. Let's go put it at that spot. Then I can really just move that around the world. Let's put it down back where it was. 4 and -4. Let's put it down there. So here it is at 4, -4. The locations are also relative to that ping pong object. And I want to make one of them be a little bit to the left, say -2. You can see the little circle show up here. And I want to make the other one be at +2. Just 2. So if I look at those, I'm going to be ping-ponging between these two locations. And I'm going to have the hedge here be right in the middle for right now, and it's going to just go back and forth between them. Okay, so let's give the hedge a bit more going on in its script. So open up the hedge script. Well, as we move things around, we would like to know, where am I supposed to be going? A really cool thing we can do here in Unity is make a public list of game objects. I'm going to call it the locations. That helps me reference things over here really easily. So I can go to my hedge, look at my script, and it says, oh, locs. The list, it can show up here, and I can dynamically start adding things in, saying, oh, I need 2 things in there. Element 0, element 1. Let's go ahead and drop those into my list. Lists are visible in the inspector for the script. That's super convenient. Well, I would like this to be acting like a queue. I would like to cycle through whatever things are there and just use them. So I'm going to make a private queue game object called queuelocs. There we go. And when things get started, I just need to go through and make a new queue of game objects. And let's add them all in. For each game object, go in the location, enqueue that object. So now I've got my queue all ready to go. I had to do this because lists show up in the Unity editor and queues do not. But now I'm all ready. I have a queue ready to go, ready to do stuff with it. Okay, so here's what I want to be doing. I want to call a method that is going to be called next up. Next up is going to come along and get a game object out. Let's call it Pong. And dequeue it. So remove that from our queue. Now I'm going to do something here, and then, well, I'm going to go put it back in. So I'm going to take it from the front of the queue and then add it to the back of the queue. So if I have 5 locations in there, it will keep on moving through them one after the other in a cycle of what's going on. Okay, so what do I want to do in here? I want to lerp. So I'm going to need a coroutine. Let's make a coroutine down here. Enumerator lerp the position. And so let's go get my target position. Oh. Somebody's going to tell me a target position of where I want to go. Okay, I need to know how long it's going to take. Something else I need up here is going to be a public float duration. Let's set it equal to 3 to start off. It's going to take 3 seconds for it to lerp. And down here we're going to do the same thing we did with the color lerp. We're going to start off with our time. Float time equals 0. And let's see where we are right now. Vector 3 start position equals my transform position. And while I am still going, then it's time to do a transition. I'm going to do transformation position equals my vector 3 lerp from the start position to the target position. And where am I in this process? What is my interpolated spot? It's going to be time divided by duration. Okay, time needs to go up, and yield return null. Okay, last thing I need to do, right at the end, I might make it almost there again, and so here I'm going to, whoa, not that one, transform position equals the target position. I might be super close, but my time went way over the duration, and so now I'm going to make sure right at the end, wrapping it up. And because I'm doing this in a constant cycle, I'm going to go call next up. Okay, so when things get going up here, I'm going to call next up. The start puts things in the queue, puts the next thing ready to go. Next up is going to be calling this lerp position right here. Start coroutine lerp position, and the position is going to be Pong transform position. Figure out where I want to go next, start my lerping, and then put it at the end. This goes, and then boop, it calls next up, which calls the coroutine again, and it keeps on going through and doing stuff. Let's see what happens. Let's run our game. We're just going to test it here in this scene. And there it goes. It's going to take 3 seconds to go back and forth. It started in the middle, and so it had to move to one. You can adjust that back and forth as you want. But now it's going to take 3 seconds. I can make it faster down here by changing this in the editor. Back and forth. And I can make it slower. Making it 4, I think turning it into 0 really made it go crazy. But, yep, my queue is empty. because I somehow threw out all my positions. It's going to make it slower. That's going to make it faster, back and forth between them. Okay, now that's convenient. If I want to add a new location, what would I do? I would say let's make a new empty loc 3. And let's move this to be somewhere in the y dimension. So I have a position over here, there, and up here. So I'm going to go between this triangle here, back and forth. Oh, let's add another one. Why not while we're here? Let's add a new child, loc 4, and that's going to be down underneath it. Let's move it over so we can actually see it. -4 still, but let's make this a 2. There we go. Okay, and then back on the hedge, I need to know about these 2 more things. And I'm going to put loc 3 and loc 4 in there. And let's see what happens when we play. Starts to move around, and then it goes up, and then it goes down. Oh, and if I hit it, well, I started running from Groundhog World. I didn't start running from the game. But if I actually ran it from the other scene here, the main menu scene, it's like, oh yes, I always want to save stuff because I forget. Thank you. We start, and we're like, ooh, I need to go avoid that hedge. Why is that hedge moving? And then, boom, I have to start over again. And then there's my hedge back where it started. Okay, good. So, things I could test out. I wanted to be able to see those dots. Let's go back to the Groundhog and turn back on the grid world so we can see it. And what I want to do is make that into a prefab. Just to make it easy for myself. I'm like, I want there to be a lot of ping pongs running around. Let's put another one over here. Let's put one up there, wherever I want. And then each individual one, I have it relative to the locations of where it is. So they could all follow that same pattern, or I could go through and create a few other ones. And inside the ping pong object, let's say like this one, let's open it up. And I want to get rid of some of these locations or change them. And so I could say this is really going to be, say, loc 3, and then loc 2. I can do that. And so some of them are going to be doing different things. I could change it so that this one has a duration of 1. And if I wanted to do it on all of them, I would have to go down here and open up that ping pong object and change some of the parameters here so that they are 2. Let's go see what happens now that I have all these things moving around. Prefabs make it super easy to just stamp, stamp, stamp. I want to make lots of things happen. Well, there they go. Look at them. One of them is faster than the others. And every single one of them I need to avoid because they're all going to send me back to start over the game. So if I have back in my scene, if I'm in the main menu scene, and I play, when we start every single one of those I need to avoid, if I run into any of them now, it's going to restart the game. Boom. Oh, I hit that one. Let's see if I can get out of here without hitting any of these hedges. Crazy, strange hedges moving around. I got one. Okay, so now we have some obstacles. Now we have some things moving around the screen in a predefined pattern structured by you, however you want to do it. And you have all of those things happening. So good luck making the games come together and making those 3D worlds.